Hello and welcome to Newsday on the BBC. I'm Rico Hizon in Singapore.
Welcome, I'm Babita Sharma in London. The headlines. Eurozone leaders urge Cyprus not to raid the bank accounts of small savers as fury boils onto the streets.
If they're cutting now money from depositors here, they can do it anywhere. And that's a theft to all of us.
A new system of press regulation in Britain is agreed in the wake of the phone hacking scandal.
The new Pope's diplomatic skills put to the test as the Argentine president asks him to intervene over the Falklands. It's the mother of all headaches for working parents, the cost of childcare. We travel to Japan and Sweden to find out how families cope. It's 7 in the morning here in Singapore.
It's 11 in the evening here in London. We're broadcasting to viewers around the world. Welcome to Newsday. Hello there and welcome again. We begin this hour with news that Eurozone ministers are urging Cyprus to allow smaller savers to escape a levy on bank deposits ahead of a parliamentary vote on the issue on Tuesday. Well, the news comes as the waiting game continues for Cypriots who are anxious to find out whether or not their government will go ahead with a one-off tax on savings. The levy is part of a deal for Cyprus to get an EU bailout or face possible bankruptcy. Gavin Hewitt sent this report from Cyprus.
Hurt, anger, outrage. That was the mood on the streets of Nicosia, the Cypriot capital. In exchange for a European bailout, small and large savers will have to pay a one-off tax.
Everyone is outraged. We were sleeping and we woke up in the morning knowing that we were significantly poorer and also knowing that our dignity was sold in Brussels.
As a nation, it's taken us 40 years to build up our economy to the level that it is, and within one day we've shot it down. They're very betrayed.
If they're cutting now money from depositors here, they can do it anywhere. And that's a theft to all of us. And if we do believe in Europe, but Europe has betrayed us.
At one stage, the crowd was urged to march to the presidential palace. Much of the anger was directed at the European Union. Many people told us they believed their savings had been guaranteed. What is clear is that the bailout deal negotiated in Brussels cannot be implemented here except in the face of fierce opposition. And just reducing the amounts that savers and depositors will have to pay probably won't be enough. People are still trying to get their money out of cash machines, but there are limits on how much they can withdraw. It is still not clear when Parliament will vote on the bailout. The government fears it might not win the vote, and without extra funding, Cyprus faces bankruptcy. And fury. The British community, around 60,000, is also assessing its losses. Rosie Haralambou stands to lose around €700. Christella McCowan says her Cypriot friends are in shock.
They felt as if someone had put their hands in their pockets and taken their money without letting them know what was going on.
Others speak of a breach of trust.
People are going to take their money out of Europe in general because they don't trust the big bosses in Brussels.
The biggest foreign investors in Cyprus are the Russians. They too have reacted. The Russian president called the tax unfair and dangerous. After a conference call tonight, European officials gave Cyprus the green light to reduce the amounts that small savers will have to pay, provided the money raised remains the same. Banks in Cyprus will remain shut for a further 2 days, and this unresolved crisis is threatening fresh turbulence in the Eurozone. Gavin Hewitt, BBC News, Nicosia.
Well, I'm joined now by webcam from California by Professor Nicholas Economides from the Stern School of Business. Professor, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the programme. Is this bank levy the right thing to do, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's completely foolish, especially since it's done for... Here we're talking about 5 billion euros that the European Union could have provided to Cyprus. And instead, for this billion euros, which is a trivial amount for the European Union, instead of giving them that amount of money, they created this huge fuss. They went back on the insurance of deposits up to 100,000 euros. That's a very serious problem. It's the European Union itself shooting itself in the foot and killing confidence in its banking system.
Yeah, the Eurozone leaders have agreed that Cyprus can be more flexible on the terms of the levy, and also urged, as we've been hearing within the last few hours, that smaller depositors, those with their smaller savings, I should say, could escape this levy. But if they don't impose this one-off tax, what are the other options for Cyprus?
Well, Cyprus doesn't have many options to either comply or go bankrupt. But the big mistake is not done inside Cyprus. The big mistake is done by the European Union. Somehow, people who have no banking experience, like Mr. Schäuble and Mr. Asmussen, think that they can guess better what is systemic and what's not systemic. That's foolish. When there is a bank run in Cyprus, and if the bank run extends to Spain, Italy, other countries, then the ECB, the European Central Bank, would have to provide huge emergency aid to those countries. And to just say, well, it's not really our fault, this is nothing we would have done, doesn't really make that much sense at all.
OK, we'll have to leave it there, but Professor, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Professor Nicholas Economides there from the Stern School of Business.